It's Chrissy Doss with the Read More, Write More radio show. And I am so excited. I'm going live on two different platforms today. I'm going live on Zoom and on Facebook Live and on Twitch. So, Twitch is the main platform that I'm recording on. That is where the radio show is hosted. And then I am here just on my computer. I'm testing out a couple of different things. So, I'm using a new feature called I guess platform is the right word too, called StreamYard. And so that's really good. And that gives me these cool banners and logos. So I'm giving you guys an actual direct look into my office. I've worked from home since 2012, so well before it was cool. And I am really happy to do that. I've actually got three monitors, so big nerd here. But for my writing sessions, I actually still write by hand and then transcribe it. So however you write works for you. And yeah, so if you're tuning in, I'd love to hear from you. So just pop a comment in the chat. You can comment on the Facebook Live or you can comment on Twitch. I think for both of them, you need an account. So for Facebook, you would need an account, and for Twitch, you would need an account. But if you already have an account on either one of those, just feel free to do that. It's still a couple more minutes until we're officially at the start time, and so I'm just gonna hang out with you. I'm excited to be here, and yeah, so we'll just listen to some music for a minute. Let's see. Okay. This is daydreaming. I'm feeling it. Anyway, so if you don't know me, I'm a ghostwriter and a book coach, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida, with my husband and our dog. And hey, not jamming out to the drum track. Nope, not my thing. But yeah, so today's a guided writing session. And what that means is that for the next hour, we'll spend time together taking you through some writing exercises and letting you work on whatever it is that you're writing about. So if you're working on a business book, like many of my clients do, then awesome. You can work on your business book during our time together. And if you're working on blog posts or if you're working on anything, just let me know in the comments what it is that you're working on, and I'll be able to give you some specific guidance. And I want you to know that all writing is valid. So if you're working on your memoir, that's awesome. If you're working on your business book, like I mentioned, then I know a lot more about those. But I'm just happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're writing. And let's go ahead and get started, okay? And so, all right. When you're setting up your writing space, you want to make sure that you have things that anywhere your eye looks inspire you and make you feel happy. I know that I write the best when I'm in a creative flow. So, for example, if I'm looking at my bookshelf, I'm like, oh, those are my favorite things. And I have my most read books at arm's length, just within arm's reach. And so that's really great for me. And the direction that your desk is facing is really up to you as well. So even if you have a really small space, you can use your desk to face the door, to face the window. Just kind of play with like different things and see how it feels. So since I live in Florida, the amount of sun we get is just insane. And so I got new curtains and I'm really excited about them, but they're not light blocking. So sometimes I'll get washed out. So today is overcast, so we're lucky. But that's also the reason that I use a lot of like backgrounds and green screens, is because I don't always know what the weather is going to do. But I'm super excited to be here with you today in my most authentic self. And when you're writing, I encourage you to bring in as much of your personality as you can, because that's really what's going to help differentiate your writing from someone else's like generic writing, right? And so I hope that you can write things that bring you joy. Um, all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set our writing intention. And some people use goals and intentions interchangeably. I think goals are great if you have a habit of meeting them. For some people, it can be overwhelming. Like you made a goal for New Year's, like a New Year's resolution, and then you didn't quite make it for the past several years. And I'm with you. I have not been to the gym like religiously, and so I know I have friends who do, but it's not really a habit that I've developed. I do have a writing habit, and so that's what I want to teach you is how to develop that writing habit so that you are showing up for yourself when you plan to show up. And one way to do that is by thinking of it as setting an intention rather than a goal. So, an intention just means that this is what I want for myself and this is how I'm going to get it. Okay? So, if you want for yourself that you have a book, that you publish a book next year, then you're going to need to get moving. You need to get moving on it. My book's actually coming out in January, so I'm very excited about it. And it's Delegate Your Book, delegateyourbook.com. But when I was writing my book, I thought in my mind, oh, it'll only take me 3 months. It took me 6 months. And luckily my publisher was very like nurturing and understanding, but it was hard, even as a professional writer, to make the time and to set the intention and to follow through on the intention of showing up for myself in that way. So I encourage you, whatever you're working on today, just show up fully for that piece that you're working on. And yeah, so the way that this is going to work is I'm going to break it into two 20-minute like writing sessions, and then in between those two we'll have time for Q&A. Just if anybody has anything, you can drop it in chat. If you don't have any questions, then I'll just answer some like frequently asked questions that I get. And okay, so if you've set your writing goal or your intention for today, just give me a thumbs up in the chat and we'll get started. All right. So I am about to start our 20 minutes. So let's see. Now, for these 20 minutes, what I encourage you to do is start with the end in mind. What is the main takeaway that you have for your reader? And what way can you communicate that one message to them? So you want it to be kind of a singular message, and you want it to be kind of like your best work. So start strong, okay? But think about it as if you're writing your conclusion. All right. So, for example, if you're working on a blog post, you're gonna focus on your call to action, and you're gonna focus on the reader's next steps. If you're working on a chapter in your book, you're gonna focus on finishing that chapter strong. Now, I encourage you, if you start coming to these weekly, you're going to actually have your outline before you even show up for me, before you show up for you, you know? So what you're going to do is bring your outline with you. And then, for example, if I'm like, okay, work on your ending, that can sometimes give you creative points to bring in earlier in the chapter. So work on writing in whatever way feels good right now, and just jot in the margins. May have a little side document open. If your brain gets distracted, just go ahead. And the point is to keep getting words on the paper so that you get into a flow. You get ahead of your ego and just let yourself write at your freest. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start that 20 minutes. and I'm going to go on mute, and I'm still here. And actually, you'll be able to see me writing and looking at the screen and writing. Yeah, I'm going on mute, and we'll start the video. about another minute, and then we're going to be done with that portion, okay? So just go ahead and wrap up the sentence that you're working on now. Just about one more minute. All right, and we're back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Now is the part of our show where I'm going to take some frequently asked questions. So if you have any questions and you're on live, go ahead and post them in the chat, and I'll be happy to let you know. You can ask me any questions about writing, or if you have writer's block or anything like that. What's on your minds? I'll give you a minute to let me know. All right, so we don't have anything coming in from the chat right this minute. So I'll go ahead and let you know about a couple of things that that people have asked me within the past week. One of my clients asked me, Chrissy, do I have to write at the same time every day? And the answer is no. You don't have to write at the same time every day. It is useful if you set a ritual for your writing. One of the favorite books that you'll hear me call out quite often is Twyla Tharp's The Creative Habit. And I actually have it right here. So Twyla Tharp's The Creative Habit is really useful for setting a ritual for your creative process. She actually has things in here that she recommends, and she's a choreographer, so a lot of what she does is based on body movement and just like being in tune with how you're feeling and what you're doing, physically as well as emotionally. And I definitely think that that's really helpful. Another thing that is helpful in setting a practice is cluing in the people around you. So, for example, if you work from an office and you have a lunch break, you can tell like your colleagues, hey, I'm not going to be available during lunch. I'm going to my car to write, or I'm going to the library to write, or I'm booking a conference room to write. And just, definitely share with the people who care about you, because they're going to be cheering you on. So I tell my husband, like, hey, I'm gonna stay up late writing tonight, or I'm gonna be up early in the morning writing tomorrow. And he's just really supportive with whatever my flexibility is, and whatever the mood that strikes me. I'm like, oh, this is a really good writing day, I really need to harness it. And he just is like, yeah, sure, go do. Sometimes I write from home. I write in my desk, I write in my paper notebook, and sometimes I write on the computer. I publish a LinkedIn newsletter, and for that one, sometimes it's easier for me to just write directly in the platform itself, because then I kind of know how it looks and I know how long it is, and it lets me kind of envision the finished product. Now, I will say if you're writing to publish like blog posts and things, make sure that you're backing them up in multiple places. So take LinkedIn, for example. So even though I publish my newsletters on LinkedIn, I still have a newsletter that's only for my email subscribers. I still publish things that are on my real estate. So those are things like your website and your personal email newsletter. Because whenever you're working on a different platform, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, be it Twitter, be it anything, if you do not own the account, like if you're not paying for the account, if you're not um, like hosting the account, then it can all disappear because of a technical glitch or because your account got in trouble or whatever. So, the moral of my story is that you want to back up what you're doing in multiple places just in case your account is ever compromised. Are there any questions from my live audience? I got just another minute or two to field questions. Okay. Well, just so you know, I'm liking this new format better, so I am going to be incorporating this aesthetic going forward. And so I hope that you tune in next week for it. We are just about to start our second and final writing session for today. And remember the first time, for the first exercise, I told you start with the end in mind and what is the main takeaway for your reader. So I hope you got some good word count from that prompt. If that sparked anything, then I'm super happy for you. Please let me know. And now we're going to shift to a prompt that is going to give you an opportunity to explain more about how you work, why you work. If you're writing a business book, often you're going to be able to bring in client stories. You're going to be able to bring in a personal story. You're going to be able to bring in something that shows, like, hey, this is why I do what I do. This is why I do it the way that I do it. And I hope that you can learn something from this. So, the prompt for this one is going to be tell a story of a time when. Okay? So you're going to tell a story of a time when, whatever your final point is. So the lesson that you're trying to share with your reader, that's what you kind of want to reverse engineer into the story. Now, nonfiction means that it is true. However, nonfiction does not mean that it happened exactly that way, exactly on the day that you said it happened. So, what you can actually do is what's called an amalgamation. So, that's AMALGATION. Amalgamation. I'm spelling it because sometimes I slur my words a little. I'm working on it. But an amalgamation is really a combined series of events. So you can combine aspects of one or two different people. You can combine aspects of one or two different clients, and it's all fine. That is completely allowed. You want to be specific when you're telling a story. You want to say, hey, my client Brandy. And if you give her a name, if you're in a book, it's really easy. You just say at the beginning of the book, hey, names, places, and identifying features have been changed to make it easier to share the intent of the story without giving up privacy. And then what you can do is that way. But when you're telling a story like in a chapter and it's different, it's a different type of story, you just want to set the context for the reader. You want to tell them, like, is this an example? So you can say, this is the type of client that da 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 da, and so that gives you some creative leeway. Okay. Obviously, if you share a client story, you want to get permission. Unless you change enough details to keep the spirit of the story without sacrificing their privacy. So, without further ado, I will let you guys get back to the writing. So we're gonna start over that 20-minute timer. And just so you know, these writing timers are on my YouTube channel. So if you ever just wanted 20 minutes, or there's actually a 15-minute timer as well. But if you ever wanted a block of time and just set it to run, and that'll do it. Um, yeah. So let's see. So you're gonna write a small case story. You probably don't have time to write a full case study, but you definitely have time to think about the who and the why and the what. The what is going to be what happened and how you guys fixed it, how you came to a conclusion. Okay, so I'm gonna set that timer for 20 minutes, and you guys go ahead. in just about a minute and a half. So if you want to wrap up the sentence that you're working on, go ahead and do that. And we'll be coming back online in just a minute, okay? All right, and we are back. There we go. Okay, like I said, I was testing out a new format today, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm gonna keep it. So this is a really easy way for you guys to see what's going on and to really get more of an idea about what it's like to write in a dedicated amount of time. So I'm super glad that you joined me. And if you're catching the replay, tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can go to readmorewritemore.com, or you can tune in on Facebook on the Read More, Write More radio show Facebook page, or on Twitch. I'm at Invisible Writer. It's at NVISIBLEWRITER. Super glad to see you. And if you guys ever need to find me, I'm Chrissy Doss on LinkedIn, and I'm pretty much everywhere. So I will see you next time. And thanks for being here. And next week we'll have a special guest. So can't wait to see you for that. Have a good one.